The 4th of April 2024, you're very welcome back, Enoch Burke. An important video. Before I start, I'm currently banned from Facebook, from X, also known as Twitter, from politics.ie, the political discussion forum aimed at Irish audiences, from YouTube, which is one of the biggest platforms for social media videos in the world. And I'm banned of other smaller sites and other things as well. And that says something about how I operate when they think I'm worth banning like that. But they'll talk about guidelines and everything else. And if you read the guidelines, I mean, it's all down to a matter of opinion. So, but anyway, this man, Enoch Burke, I have to say something. Number one, I've mentioned him in videos. Number two, I do not have his permission to quote him or do anything else. I do not have his permission. He is incarcerated in prison and therefore he can't respond to me. And I have to take that into account, and I have to respect the man's position and make it clear that he did not endorse anything I say, and I can't speak for him. Nevertheless, the fact that what happened to him has happened serves as a warning. And what I can do is try and figure out what actually happened. I think I know it fairly well, and it's a sign of the times, and try and figure out how to do something about it, because I'm still out and walking around, and how we can try and do something about it. Now, I say, again, I'm only guessing, Mr Burke took heart from the recent referenda. I'd say he did on that, and that's good. I think maybe his plight might have weighed a little bit on the pens of the voters in that particular referendum. Okay. Now, if I were to meet a man that I greatly admire, Nikola Tesla, and I read books and have books and books on all his different ideas, and he was a brilliant, brilliant mind, I could still point out that some of his inventions was nonsense. One of them was his disc turbine, which he said was better than an ordinary turbine with compressed air or water or whatever was pumped into it. That's wrong. Disc turbines were never any use. They're a waste of space. They don't do any better than an ordinary turbine. They rely on the friction between discs with a medium such as air. So I'd have told him that. The other thing, he put forward the idea that you could transmit power from we'll say Ireland to Britain by means of the waves that carry electromagnetic waves. In other words, that the radio waves, which come from the disruption of the atom that allows you to watch television and to use your mobile phone and all that, and listen to a radio, could carry more than just a very weak power. That is nonsense. They just carry enough power to get the information across. It has to be modulated and stepped up by means of powerful radio sets and all of that. So there's two things I would have told him will never happen, never, ever, ever, ever happen. Now, you'd say then, oh, you're telling Tesla he's wrong. He was wrong in those, but he was right in things that would take me years to figure out myself. So fair play there. Now, excuse me. So the thing about Mr Burke, maybe we'd meet sometime. It's possible that if I met him, I'd find him objectionable. I'd find him very fundamentalist. I'd find him maybe humorous, maybe very dour. Maybe I'd find him a gas man. Maybe he'd be a bit of a character. Maybe he'd be a fun. I have no idea. I have no idea only to look at him. Okay, so I can't speak for him in any way like that. However, I can say to any young person considering a career in teaching, you could one day be where Mr Burke is today. If you take on a career in the guards, in the army, in the teaching profession, in medical, you only go to jail if you do something wrong. If you batter the child or injure them hit them with a baton over the ear and cut their ear, you could be convicted of assault, and nobody should be abusing kids like that. I am the victim of it. When I was at school, we were beaten until we fainted at national school as young kids. So that was abolished. So we know there has to be certain restraints and all of that. But the idea that for calling it by him or any of those pronouns or any of this woke nonsense should be imposed on the teaching profession is something which we must get rid of by all agreement. So on that, that's where I'm coming from. We can learn from Mr. Burke's experience. But one thing Mr. Burke does not have ownership of, and I think he will agree it's a good thing too, he doesn't want ownership of it. If anyone thinks the likes of me is not going to use his plight to get our people elected and destroy, Destroy, the Green Party, the Fine Gael Party, the Fianna Fáil Party, and the Sinn Féiners, who are all for this woke stuff, I repeat the word again, Destroy, destroy them. You look at Fine Gael, look at the party, look at the paper here, it's over here. It needs new faces and new ideas. It needs to be put out. The faces coming in are nothing new. So he can't, nobody in prison can tell me that I won't use their plight, and we will use it. We will use it big time, because we know that's the soft underbelly of the political establishment. I don't think he'd mind, to tell you the truth. Maybe he'd tell me otherwise. But I will not relent, nor neither will many people of my frame of mind. We have to change our politics in Ireland completely. And we have to do it by peaceful means, and not any criminal damage or anything like that. And that is happening slowly but surely. And I think we must be there to pick up and do the work ourselves and get rid of these people. So I'm very sorry that anyone's career should go like that. But there's two things about Enoch Burke. One is, it's sad what happened to him. But it'd be much more sad if nothing was done to reap the whirlwind that it brings about. And I think we have already reaped the whirlwind in the referenda on the families. I think we already have got a dividend on that. The governments and the government parties who canvassed for us to vote yes got a good kick up the backside, and they're in disarray. They don't know whether to laugh or cry. The dirty idiots. And Varadkar is gone, and that's the way it is. So we have to make sure that it's a nil wind, blows no good. We have to use every method in convincing the people to change and to be revolted at what's happened. And then if we ever get any power, we have to turn around and do what I said in an earlier video. We have to criminalise the imposition of unreasonable or wicked tasks on the holders of public professions that I've mentioned, or the various people who work in the public service. And we have a situation at the moment where we have to have some people in Burplanola who realise that they're sanctioning, given permission for certain projects which require an SCA directive, which the European Court of Justice has ruled requires certain processes to happen before they'll be granted, and they are still granting permission. They must be under severe pressure because they are guilty of breaking the law, and unless they, if they do it under desperate pressure from government, then that should be recorded. So we have this position of public service having to go with the flow, having to toe the party line and not rocking the boat, and that is not a good tradition, and that can end up in a lot of injustice happening. And the same with judges. Some judges will stick their necks out, but it's well known that High Court judges and judges of the Court of Appeal between the High Court and the Supreme Court, they want to get the next jump, and it's the like of that mad cabbage head Ryan, the like of this Simon Harris, and old T-Boy for Francis Fitzgerald, and these idiots that it's the like of them that will decide whether they get to be higher judges or not. That is a despicable situation which we have to do something about. So sympathies to you, Enoch Burke. He'd probably never talk to me. I'd say if he was released in the morning, he would never pick up the phone and say, well, at least you done a bit for me there. I'd say he wouldn't. That's the kind of people. Some people can be unbelievable snobs. That's the one thing about me. I was never a snob. I was never afraid to talk to anyone. But I might be wrong. I could be totally wrong. And by all means, I hope this is resolved. I hope some way I've been getting him out. But if he's still in prison all this year and we have the elections held up, we need to use him. We need to hammer the established parties on the canvas and in radio and television. Say, look what happened to Enoch Burke. That could happen to your daughter or mine. And that should help swing the people. So maybe if Enoch Burke is not too bad in there and getting a bit of old tea and a bit of meat and not bag of chips, maybe he'd hang on there for another while. People will tell me, oh Val, you're all wrong. He's not in there for anything, only disobeying the court order. We are not interested in the. I'm not interested in the wheels and cogwheels of it. I'm interested on getting the person going into the polling booth and marking the paper for the type of candidates that we want. We're not right wing. We're just conservatives, traditional people. That's what I have to get. How that's done is not my problem. I'm not interested in this, what the school thinks down there in Westmeath. I don't give two damns. My job is to destroy this cultural Marxist raven lunacy that's going on, LBGBQ, and extinguish it forever. Let people who have an alternative sexual orientation wait till they're enough 17 or 18 until they become young adults, and then let them slowly decide what they want to be. Wouldn't it be something if poor old Enoch Burke serves a year in prison and the boy concerned turns round in 3 years' time and says, oh, I was wrong, I got it all wrong, I was influenced by somebody, I want to be a boy. Wouldn't that be something if that happened? Folks, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. We'll see you back. And thumbs up to Enoch. I hope he comes out of this all in one piece. I'd love to meet him someday I don't know, does he take a drink? I'd say he doesn't take a drink either. Well, if I meet you, I will. Bye, Enoch. Good luck. Thank you.